Hello everyone, this is Monstertaming coming at you with another map tier list, like how the Kinfolk perform on a map. Once again, if you want my detailed explanations, please watch the accompanying videos on why I feel the way I do about those maps. But this is just like an accompanying video to those to tell you why I think certain Kinfolks are good or bad on those maps. This time we're going to be doing Forest. I think Avion's going to be a B tier on Forest. While there's very little cover for you to hide from Avion, there's very little cover for Avion to use. If Avion runs out of stamina, it has to try to run away from you, but there's not a lot of places to run. It's still very annoying to hit when flying and everything, but I think it's much more manageable on Forest specifically. Salamander, I think we'll place on the C tier, maybe the bottom of B tier actually. No, the C tier, because it's very niche. Like, if your opponent has range, like a Skulkin can still loop you by just pelting you from far away, then teleporting to the other side of the map. Avion can do basically the same thing. Inbear can bully you, probably just nuke you down before you get close. A Slifer might have a little bit of a harder time if Salamander's your last Kinfolk left to deal with, but overall Salamander's just not great on here. Inbear, Shovelet is next. We'll put Shovelet at the bottom of B tier, because Shovelet can still use rest, but it's harder. You have to use like a rock slide as cover. Maybe you can get away with a rock wall, but that's very unlikely to work. And Quicksand is pretty good to catch annoying people who are running circles around you, but still, it's not great. It's not Shovelet's best map, that's for sure. Now for Inbear. Put Inbear in high A tier. I don't know, maybe even S tier, because that Inbear is just so good when you don't have cover to hide from him. If you have to, Inbear is like the definition of a brawler. If you just sit there and just trade blows with Inbear, and Inbear's probably going to win. He'll just out DPS you and has enough health to survive pretty much any confrontation. Kadoki is going to be high B tier. Because he's basically like Shovelet but better on Forest. You know, his hills are much easier to use, his Thunderflies are much easier to use than Quicksand. He's basically just like a better version of Shovelet on Forest particularly. Lumala is probably going to be honestly a little bit worse than Shovelet on Forest, because Lumala is horrible with DPS. And Lumala's only good trait is its heal and its passive. And its heal is greatly diminished, leaving you with mostly just its passive. But you can still heal. So it's going to keep it out of C tier because it's possible, it's just a lot easier to punish. Skulkin, I think I will put A tier, because either melee or ranged Skulkin, both builds, can do pretty well on Forest. You can close the gap very easily. You teleport one side to the other with teleports. You can kite or close gaps pretty easily with Skulkin. And Kosakawa is not bad. And then Slifer, I think we're going to put a little bit higher than Skulkin, because Slifer can just rush basically anyone down and start nuking them with moves. And just tear them apart basically. From Mechid, I think we'll put Mechid down at the bottom of B tier, maybe even below Lumala, because Mechid really suffers when Mechid cannot kite, and sadly for Mechid, there's not a lot of room for kiting, because like ranged Kinfolk can just beat the crap out of you. Like, you're gonna have to hide from ranged Kinfolk most of the time. Kiting might not be the best word. Like on ruins or something, you can hide behind something and make them come close to you, then hit them. It's kind of the opposite of kiting, actually. For what Mechid needs to do, and it's just really hard to do that. Like, enemies can just kite you too easily. Like, they'll just run from you, and you have a really hard time catching them with Mechid on Forest. making it so that when he does catch, I'm probably better than Salamander, honestly, but still C tier, because when he does catch up, he can still do some good stuff, and it's just really hard to catch up, though, much like Salamander. I also realized now, looking back on it, I didn't include Mechid in my last video, which was about caverns, so I'm going to add a little bit of a caveat here at the end of this one, to where I would place Mechid. I would probably put Mechid at low B tier on caverns, just because you do have some cover, you can maybe get some stuff done, but people will just, I don't know, maybe even in the same place, like high C tier, because people can still just run away from you and it's really hard to catch up with Mechid. But anyways, this one was but we're signing off. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye, God bless, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.